oh, do I have some exciting stuff to share you? And I need your permission for one thing though, just to get a bit geeky. Um, so just are you prepared to get geeky? Because this is going to be a little bit in depth, um, but at the same time, it's going to be fun. I know it's going to be fun. I know. Um, and I'm very excited with it. So let me just get rid of that and let me get rid of, oops, that. We don't need that anymore. All right. Oh, I like that. Get geeky. All right. Thank you for your permission. Okay. Now, have you ever wanted to tame YouTube shorts? I know I have. Last year I did a 30-day challenge. I did one a day and it was a dog's breakfast. Um, enough said. And absolutely. And I don't know if you felt the same. I've been going over some comments that everyone else has been going over. I think, was it Vaughan? You said, what was it? I don't know why some hit and others don't. I'm going to answer that today. Tim Richmond, you're not in the stream, but I know. Oh, thank you for the sound effects. Yes. um, and actually, where is she? Oh, I was going to say, we have a dog here, but she's on the ground. But anyway, and what have we got? Yeah, Tim had put in the comments in on Facebook with the views. The shorts are often one and done. I'm actually going to reword that as the hour of power because wait till you see this. And it's the algorithm is crazy to understand. I feel like I've understood it now. And I think Jill Bennett, you said that Think Media had said that it's like a wild night on the booze. I definitely agree with that. Shanique, you wanted to do more. We're going to get into that on how to do it. And you're probably thinking, just get on with it. I know. Okay, I will. So, like the Fast and Furious, the like the new movie, Fast 10, your seatbelts. Okay, let's do this. All right, so we are going to start with, is this going to work? Yes, it is. Haha. Okay. I want to change your perception on YouTube Shorts. Now, I've just realized that I'm just going to remove this and I'm going to put, I just want to share it properly because it's just not, let me go with this one. Okay, that's better. Don't have all my screen all over it as well. Okay. I want to change your perspective on YouTube Shorts because, well, like I said before, it is like a bit of a dog's breakfast. It's all over the place. You kind of just throw it up against the wall and see what sticks, and almost nothing does. But this year, I felt like God is showing me some things with YouTube Shorts and to maybe help others to be able to do it and spread His word. And I'm just excited about it. So let's just keep moving. All right. It is like a wild night on the booze. I know that's probably not the best analogy, but the thing is, um, it is like it's one and done, like Tim said. It's it, it seems to give a good shot, and then the next day it's just like nah, zero, and it's just crazy. And like I found like last week, it is literally like the Wild West that it's just anything goes and nothing seems to work. So, um, they, I guess, over time, up until now, everybody has said that they are not predictable. But I want to tell you right now, they are very predictable. And I'm going to show you why. And after this, you will be able to do this yourself and you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to whisper shorts yourself. And see, I'm getting excited already. Now, obviously, we need to catch people's attention. I know that's straightforward, but that's not everything. And keep them engaged, obviously. But what's the most important thing? Now, you will be tested on this later. So, yeah, sorry about that. But what's most important? And yeah, no, I'm going to just leave it. Obviously, we need to catch people, pull people in, keep their attention. We know all this stuff. You know this stuff. But again, we're going to come back to this later. And stick to one theme on one short. I've always found that, if you do two things, even I've even been experimenting with love God, love others. And it's kind of like, is that two things or is it just one? So we're going to delve into that. But how, I hear you ask. Oh, thanks, Tiffany. Thank you very much. I'm not quite sure which great slide, but we'll go with that. All right. So I did a test and I uploaded exactly the same time, now my time, but 11 a.m. and what was it, 8 p.m. every single day for a month. And it is crazy what I found. Oh, yeah, twice. Now, shorts are not like longs. We'll call them longs from here on. But the thing is, and everybody keeps saying, oh, yeah, but shorts, they don't go to long traffic and long traffic doesn't go to shorts. And I think they're right. I think if you think that shorts are going to get you long traffic, if it's going to give you the same type of subscriber, I think I think it's wrong, because people who, well, I guess it's like when you go to Facebook and then you go to Instagram, you act differently. People act differently. You think, why am I putting up a short on Instagram, but it's not doing great on shorts? Because they're a different audience, they're a different crowd, but also they have a different, I guess, a mentality. I mean, if you go onto Facebook, you have a certain predisposition of how you act without even thinking about the audience on that platform. Then Instagram, you act differently. In YouTube Shorts, you act differently. On TikTok, you act differently. So everything I've got today is just YouTube Shorts, but I'm sure you can work it out for the other ones, but it's just the shorts today. And mainly because shorts are forced on you, whereas longs are not. Obviously, if you go to a long, you have to choose the thumbnail, you have to go through everything. But when it comes to shorts, you are the one, well, no, sorry, you're the one that gets forced it upon, and then you have to choose to flick it away. It's like an annoying mozzie. You just go, come on, get out of the way. So, and obviously when I applied these rules, it made so much more sense, I tell you. And it works. And I've tested it, and okay, what I have found. I feel like I needed a drum roll, but I don't have one. But oh, no, that'll do. What I have found. It does help if I check the right buttons. But anyway, what I have found, that when you put up shorts, there's a bit of a slow burn, and I'll explain that in a minute, that it don't expect it to right now go and just take off. It won't. It needs a bit of developing and everything. It's gathering the data, and I'll explain this in a minute. Then there's the hour of power. Now, when I saw this, and I'll show you some examples in a sec, once I saw this, I thought, oh my goodness. And like I said, I just feel like God is showing me things so that I can teach you. Um, and not just, and again, not for me, but just so that his word can be out there more. And then there's this echo. It's not, the echo is not necessarily like the hour of power. I can almost guarantee it unless it doesn't gather the right kind of data. But the echo, I'm not quite sure about the echo just yet. But normally the next day it kind of just has a, like if the first day gets 1,000, and then the echo might get 200 or something. And I kind of feel if you get certain criteria, it will try again. But we'll get into that. Yes. Now this first one, you can see here. You can see here that in the gray area, you can see that it is gathering data, and this one is predictably going with the going with the trend of my previous one. So this is probably the previous 10. Now with these, I'm not getting so many numbers because I had a few experiments, etc. And you can see here, there's the hour of power. Now I'm going to show you a couple in the thousands, but this just demonstrates that it is very predictable. And again, now this last one is, you can see that it kind of, you can see the gray area where the hour of power is, but it didn't gather the right kind of data. It just kind of missed a few things, and it goes past. So, and we'll get back into that. The hour of power is real, and here's some examples. So this one here, I'm not quite sure if this was a AM or PM one, but you can see that this hour of power in this gray zone, it just, and I think it's, if I do it at 11 a.m., it usually pops up at about 5, 6, 7 o'clock. If I do it at 8 p.m., it's usually about 3 p.m. Is that the right kind of? Yeah, it's usually about 3 p.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. And the other interesting thing is I find that if I do it at 8 p.m. and it goes at 3 a.m., then it tends to go obviously more towards you guys, to America and all that sort of thing. Whereas if I do it at 11 a.m. and it goes up at, or let's say 5 or 6 p.m. my time, then it seems to go to India, to Australia, obviously, but India and Vietnam, and it's really interesting. And so I guess timing is another thing as well. What's happening? Oh, I've got stuff in the background. Hang on. And there's another one. At the 8-hour mark, it went up. It went crazy. Oh, I didn't do the other ones in the behind. Again, another one. Hour of power. It happens. It's predictable. And you can see there's a little bit of a gather just here. You probably can't quite see that so much. Let me just go to, can I do that one? Yeah. You can see this one. And again, hour of power. Another one, hour of power. This one went a little bit early and just went hard. And oh, thank you. Thank you, Tiffany. Yes, global reach. So I guess the timing of everything is so important because it depends on who you want to attract and everything. It really does make a difference. Now, okay, this one had me so confused for a while, but it's this thing that actually made me understand what is happening, because yeah, because once I found out why it doesn't work, it made it so much more interesting of why it does work. Now, one of the first things I did, or when I started it, I was getting very lazy with my title and descriptions. the titles were very vague, or not vague. They were, I was trying to be interesting, and I tried to, I don't know, I tried to be, what's the word, engaging, etc. So it kind of didn't really say what the short was about, but it kind of, what's this one? Do you have a YouTube graph that shows when your subs are online to show you the time? Oh, now I guess I think was it vidIQ? I think if you have a paid subscription, I think you can do that. Um, oh, actually, I think YouTube does, but I think you need a certain amount to be able to see it. I haven't been able to see it. I guess the best thing I could do, um, uh, yeah, I guess it's just posting at different times and then having a look at your data and who's watching, I guess. So no, I just did it 11 o'clock in the morning and 8 p.m. It just seemed to be the best times, really. Um, so yeah, and you could experiment with that and then go into your analytics, see who's watching, and especially if you, I think if you get over 1,000, you can start seeing where everything's at. I think if it's under 1,000, it tends to say not enough data kind of stuff. So yeah, see how we go with that. So yeah, my title and description was very lazy. I was trying to be engaging, which kind of didn't say what it was about. And I didn't put anything in the description, and it didn't go to the shelf. Now, just as a word of caution here as well, I noticed that if I then changed the title and changed the description, still nothing happened. It's this one and done thing. You only get one chance. If you change something later, it doesn't seem to work. It's already too late. The only way I found is to delete the original one, get rid of it, put a proper title, proper description, and put it up again. And the second time I did it, like I got 0, it didn't go to the shelf. The only thing I changed was the title and description, and it just described it so that the algorithm kind of knew where I was heading with it. And I found that it basically got 1,500, I think, the next day. So just because it didn't go to the shelf, the algorithm didn't even know what it was doing. And yeah. And another thing, this one was so, I was heartbroken when this first happened. Like I was getting, actually, where is it here? I was getting these kind of views. 1,600, 1,600, 1,700, 2,000. I was getting 1,600. It was just going bang, bang, bang. And then bang. Where's my, hang on. It died. For the next 4, it just died. And for a while, I couldn't think of why it didn't work. But then I looked at them. They were each 3 seconds. I mean, obviously, I was trying to push the envelope a little bit, but they were 3 seconds, 3 seconds, every single one. And I look back in the history of all the ones that didn't make it, because there was a couple there that I deleted and re-uploaded and still didn't get anything. They were 3 seconds. Now, what I worked out was that this 3 seconds is so important because the first 3 seconds are your thumbnail. You don't have to make them great, just better. I don't have the right kind of, hang on. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, I'm being an idiot. But anyway, so basically the algorithm needs the first 3 seconds to know. I mean, just think about it. You've got your phone, you're flicking through shorts, okay? You're flicking through, How long does that take? Less than 3 seconds. So this is their, I guess, warning or their data to know that this first 3 seconds is so important that, um, like I said, it's your thumbnail. And I'll show you in a second how you can tell if it's working or not. Um, and just remember that because it is so important. And oh yeah, and I've already said that there's no second chances. Once you've put it up, the algorithm's already decided what to do with your thing, um, and that's it. So your choices are to leave it, try again, or try again but differently, or you can delete it and try again exactly the same but change it. Um, and yeah, or and this is what I've been doing, and this is what I want to change perspective of with YouTube Shorts, is if you put it up, let's say you do a quick talk and you say something and it doesn't do well. You can look in your data and you go, hang on, if I just said this differently, this will make the difference. So then try it again. Just change your wording, change the way you say it, try again. And then maybe see what that does and say the same thing again and try again. Now, I guess there is the issue if you keep going up against the same audience, they're going to go, "Oh yeah, I've heard this. I've heard this." So you've got to be careful, and maybe if you're doing a few shorts over a given time, maybe space it out over a week. But just remember that most of the time it goes to a new audience anyway. So it's I kind of feel like it's that gather stage goes to your audience and then it goes to whoever. So yeah, it can be a little bit tricky, but see how we go. So yes, delete and re-upload. Make sure you put enough into the title and description and reshoot and experiment. I've just said everything and there it is. Now, what to look for? Okay. Now, if you get good views, then do another one. Experiment. And I will give you data that you can go, okay, I now know why it's not working. So we can do another one. Nothing on the short shelf. Well, like I said, delete it, try again, but change it though. Obviously, don't put it up exactly the same unless you delete the first one. Obviously, we've got to stay within YouTube guidelines, etc. But yes, if you change it later on, like if you upload it and then you change the describe, say the wording, and all that sort of thing, it's not going to change anything. It's just going to sit there and go, yeah, I've already done it. Thanks. All good. We've got the data. And yeah, if it's low, if you get low numbers, then you can look at the things I'm about to tell you that will make such a big difference. Oh, don't make it great, make it better. So, 3 things that make you get views or that it gets views on the short shelf. Um, Now these 3 things, the first 2 things are very important, but the third one is extremely important. And without the third one, the first 2 just will fall flat. So, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Really matters. Okay. But what really matters? Now, you've probably seen the views to swipe ratio. If you've had a look, I mean, who here doesn't know what the views to swipe ratio is and where to find it? Just let me know. But it's in your data. And I think if you go to your reach, actually, let me see if I can. No, I don't want to muck everything up, but you'll see it in a sec. But if you go to your data, oh, okay. If you go to, all right, maybe if I can, have I got my studio here? Yes. All right, let's go back. Just give me a sec. Talks amongst yourselves. And I will go to, Oh, I'm on the wrong channel because I did everything in the Morningstar TV. Into the Bible is all the ones, but I will go into how many did I get for this one? Because I didn't experiment. Oh, I experimented with this channel with thumbnails last year, but yeah, I don't have any specific ones on this channel. However, can you see that? No. Let me just work out how to do this. And I will, analytics. Oh, here we go. Okay. So if you go to your analytics and you can see it here, and you go to reach, then you look down and over this side, I got 42.1% viewed. So that means that in the, now what this means, and this is that first 3 seconds, in the first 3 seconds, people didn't click away. However, on the 4th second, we don't have that data there. Actually, if I go into engagement, where is it? Engagement, is that enough here? Oh, here we go. Yes, here we go. Perfect. You can see here, here's that first 3 seconds. How many? Oh, that's 4 seconds there. So you can see that it didn't perform well, but in the first 4 seconds, you can see that I got, and I'm clicking back, back to reach, I got 42%, which is fantastic. There's my thumbnail. I did well. I mean, it's got spiders on it and stuff. And so obviously as people were going through, they're going, oh, spider, or whatever I did, it was enough for people to stop for 4 seconds. But after that, they just went, nah. So that is the thumbnail, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I hope that helps. Let me know if that makes sense, because then if it does, I will move on. Let me go back to sharing my other screen. Okay. So yes, so that is the first 4 seconds is your thumbnail, and only your thumbnail. Just think of it as the first 4 seconds, that swipe ratio is the only thing that is telling you, okay? It's not telling you that it performed well. It's not telling you that people watched till the end. It's just, sorry, it shows that it was engaging. Sorry, I'm just going to read this. It shows that it was engaging. Did not know that chart as for the first 3 seconds. Yes. And because, and like I said, I feel like God was just telling me and showing me that like I was going great, and then I got 4 in a row that just didn't work. And it's like, oh, okay. Thank you, God. 20% is okay. 30% is good. 40% is great. Obviously, over more is fantastic. But again, like I said, the third thing is the most important thing. This is just your thumbnail. And maybe if you can start thinking with your thumbnails, okay, I've got an idea, but what's the 4 seconds that's when someone's swiping away, what's going to make them stop? Because that is that 3-4 seconds. Okay. It's, yeah. So only thing, and this is the Superman one that I did. I got 39.8%. So 39, like nearly 4, let's say 40% stopped. I mean, it was engaging enough for people to stop, but you can see that it just wasn't engaging enough to keep going. So that swipe, so sometimes I used to go, oh, 40% people viewed, and it didn't make sense to me until I did this. And now I just know, oh, okay, that's the thumbnail only. Okay, I've said that enough, I think. Okay, let me go to the next slide. I forgot to put, there's all stuff in the background that I forgot. Oh, yeah, the first 4 seconds is your thumbnail. Can't remember who said that, but you know, we'll move on. So what really matters? Okay, here we go. Have I got this twice? Okay. Well, you can't have it enough, okay? Okay, here's the test. Now, oh, actually, I don't know if I have put in the second metric just yet. Let me just go to the next slide and see. Okay, the next thing is obviously how many people, average percentage viewed. Now, the one on the left is 8 seconds. The one on the right is 4 seconds. So there is a bit of a difference there. However, the view duration is obviously how many people watched. So this is, you know, everybody would know what this bit is, but if you don't, please let me know. But so we've done the first bit. We know that they've swiped. So down the bottom, we've got 30% viewed on the left and 22% on the right. Then we have the average view percentage. So 112%. What's that? Probably, I don't know. Are we talking 112? Probably 11 seconds or something instead of 8. And on the 7, 191, we've nearly got probably 14 seconds. But having said all that, here is your quiz for the day. Left or right, put in the chat which one, and if you're watching this later on, still put it in the chat. I'd love to know which one do you think is the correct, which one got more views? The left one? Actually, I got the wrong thing here. Sorry, hang on a sec. Yeah, here we go. Which one got more views, left or right? Did more with 30% view, they got, the left one got more, but it didn't get more as much average percentage, whereas the other one got more. So which one do you think got the most views? The right one? Okay, we've got the right one. Anybody else? Because it's confusing. The right, yes, okay. Well, if you said the left one, no, wrong, hang on. If you said the left one, no. If you said the right one, it definitely did. But the big question is why? Now, there's something I haven't told you. And this is the third thing that is the most important thing, that if, and when I saw this, and actually I actually asked ChatGPT this, and if you remember this slide, these things will make it. Now, can anybody guess what that third thing is? It's in there. It's not everything that's on that, but can you think of what that might be? Now, the left one got 177 views. The right one got 1,600. Having a look at this, now obviously there are extra data now on the bottom. We've got likes, 4, 0 subs on the left, 73 likes and 7 subs on the right. Can you guess why that would be happening? Now, I put in, I think it was about 13 different data for, I think 13 different 13 videos, and I put it into ChatGPT. It's so amazing with ChatGPT and everything. So I basically put the spreadsheet in. I said, can you have a look at this and tell me what's the most important thing? And it said, based on the provided data, the number of likes and the number of subscribers gained during the video appear to have a stronger influence on the number of views compared to the view to swipe ratio or the duration. Do you get that? So swipe ratio is important. View duration is important. But if you look at those two things, it will be very confusing to understand why these things even work. But then you look at how much the like and subscribers, it makes a huge, huge difference. So yes, your thumbnail is important for that first 3 to 4 seconds. To try and keep people watching is very important, because I think with those two things, it'll go even further. But you've got to somehow, and this is, I guess, the tricky bit, somehow get, get, what's the word I'm looking for? Got to somehow get people's inspiration. Maybe it's the next slide. Yeah, you got to get people's, we've got to get people's likes and subscribers. So somehow you have to tap into their, what they want, and audience, what they need, and all that sort of stuff, which is back to what all the things we know and need. And even this one here, this is exactly, I put up exactly the same one. The only difference is this first short just had rain, like I had, I think there was a swoosh sound at the beginning just to kind of get that thumbnail thing. The first 3 seconds, and then there was some rain effects. That was all for the first one, and the second one was with music, with still the same effects, but it just had more inspiration. I think it was very, yeah, it was more sounding like this. So, and the whole thing was, no matter where, I should have had it on the slide here, but no matter where you're, actually, what about if I play it? Hang on. Let's see if I can, before I do, this one got 944. It did okay. And on the right-hand side, it was pretty much the same. There's some differences, everything, but this one got 51 likes on the right with the music. So it was just a bit more inspirational, a bit more, I mean, if you watched it, you go, oh, I like that. Whereas the first one was a bit gloomy. And I think Tim Richmond, sorry, you said, where is it? Things need to be light, as in uplifting, or bright colors and all that sort of thing. And I kind of feel like this leans into that it had a lot of darkness and rain effects and everything. Whereas when I did the music, it kind of just brought it up to, what's the word? It brought up the mood a little bit. Let me go to my studio and just see where that is at. Sorry, just, oh, it's actually behind, isn't it? Oh, you Wally. I've got it. No, I'm linked into my other channel. Sorry. But basically it says, no matter where you find yourself, keep God as your focus. If you want to see it, I can put it up in the group, etc. But it was so interesting that these two are basically exactly the same, 5 seconds, but the only change was the music only, and yet it got, I mean, this one on the right actually got less. What have we got? 5 second clip. It got 2.8 hours. It didn't go as well as the 3.1. 11 seconds on the left. With the music, they were only 8 seconds. However, people were inspired by the music so much so that I got more likes. So likes are so important. So what's the best? So make sure your first 4 seconds, and that's the swipe to swipe away ratio, is that 4 seconds. It's got to be a disruptive. If it's not, then people are going to click away. And if you get the likes, then you'll have more people in, in the whole mix. So you put action, zooms, movement. I think Tim, you said something about keeping words on the screen or lists. That's so important, because people just want to, you're grabbing people's attention because they go, oh, there's a list. Oh, maybe I'll just wait and see what they're going to say. There we go, lists. Keep people engaged as long as possible. Now with my Superman one, it was engaging for the first 4 seconds, but then it kind of was the same thing as it goes. So I'm going to experiment with it, but I need to change it up a little bit and keep it moving because it's just not moving enough. Once I do that, I think I might, well, I'll get more engagement, but I think if I can change the mood that people are going to go, oh, I like that. That's what I'm going to try and aim for. Subvert the expectation. I love this. If you know, you probably know it already, but I love jokes because when it comes to jokes, you're kind of subverting the oh, okay. See you, Tiffany. Thank you very much. We're pretty much finished, but thank you so much. We're nearly there. Subverting the expectation. Just what's the word I'm looking for? Like with the joke, you kind of led on, and then suddenly it changes that last. I did have a joke worked out, but now I've forgotten it. So too bad. Sorry. That'll do. But then one thing that I find that I do a lot is bury the lead. So I kind of hide. I feel like sometimes I kind of hide the word God or Christianity till the end. And so I'm trying to get people to the end. And sometimes that can work against you because next time they'll go, yeah, I heard what this guy said last time. But so sometimes I think be upfront, you'll get the right audience, but then somehow twisted at the end to subvert that expectation. Like you see movies all the time, and it's by the time you go to the end, you go, "Oh, that's totally different," and you've come away with a warm feeling of you've just learnt something. Whereas if you bury the lead, obviously you kind of hide things till the end and then go, "Oh, here it is," and everyone just goes, "Oh, that wasn't what I thought you were going to say." And make your shorts with lots of emotion and thought provoking. I feel like sometimes when okay, I've got a long, 40-minute thing, or I could put this up. I cut it up into a short and shove it up and put it up there and everything onto the short shelf. But is it going to get inspiration? Sometimes you need a bit of lead to kind of make what you're saying make sense. So you just got to think about if your short goes up by itself, will it make sense? And sometimes I think starting with context is not necessarily the best thing, because sometimes you put up no context and then you kind of subvert that expectation and then deliver it after. You go, oh yeah, now I get it. I don't know if that's making sense, but so the first thing is have a look at your shorts that you have at the moment, and I would love to talk to people about this more. So the first thing is what's the word I'm looking for? The first thing is your swipe ratio. Have a look at that. You think, why didn't it work? You'll have a look at that and you think, oh, it's not, it's 10% or 10% or something. You go, okay, that's why it didn't work, but not necessarily. And then you have a look at how many people watched it, or how long they watched it for. Maybe 20 seconds was too long. You didn't start so right. But at the end of the day, it's what people feel like when they see your thing. If you're just slapping things up against the short shelf, people aren't going to get interactive with it. They're not going to go, oh, I like that. You got to get them enough to like what you're doing. So, like I said, things are important. And this is the greatest thing of all. I had to do it. I don't know if I buried the lead there or if that was subverting your expectations, because you're probably thinking, why am I going with love otters? I don't know if that worked. Let me know. So, are there any questions? That's the big thing. Is there any questions? Because I don't know if have I answered anything. Has anything made sense? Do you think? Oh, I don't know. It's still not making sense. I would love to know. I'd love to do this more. Um, and really, it's um, once you start seeing this, you'll go, oh yeah, okay, I know what to work on now. I mean, how many people here just put it up, see what it does, and go, oh, it didn't quite work, and then that's it. And I mean, um, does that make sense though, Shanique? I feel like I've just thrown a lot of gig data at people, and I'm not quite sure if it's making sense. I'm hoping it's making sense. So yeah, I guess if unless anybody has any questions, we can end there. But I would just, yeah, I just want to see that if I guess really I just want to see if I made sense. And you could like the video. That apparently that helps. But I'm being silly. So what have we got here? It makes sense going to try a short challenge of my own using the tips you provided. Oh, cool. Yes. Thank you. Well, actually, hang on. Let me. Thank you. Again, I'm being silly. Anyway. Okay. We're going to end it there. Obviously, this will not finish just yet. I want to find out from you more about this, more what your oh, here we go. I think it can. I think it can. However, if you do it in your morning, oh, that's right. And just remember that if you posted at say 11 a.m. your time, there is that 6 hour lead time. So you get to that 6, 7, 8 hours, and that's when it really goes. So just think about when you want it to actually be active, then reverse, probably 6, 7 hours or something like that. Just think about who is your audience and when they're awake, and when most active probably is probably the best thing. Sometimes I posted very similar things. Oh, excuse me. And I guess the other thing is, I think instead of like with YouTube, with the longs, it gathers data and tries to put it out to a bigger audience and that sort of thing. I think with shorts, I've heard of the word seed. So it kind of puts a little seed amongst one little audience and it just tests it out. And um, Sean, what's his name? Sean from Think Media. No, sorry, it was Ed from Film Booth. He said that you might get 1,500 views every single time, and then but it would just die. But eventually, if you can build your audience up, eventually it will start to become more regular, and the old ones might start picking up as well. Because I think it is still if it meets certain criteria, it can go up. And I think I still haven't tested this yet, and I'm going to go through a whole heap of videos of people that were successful with their shorts with high numbers. How many likes to what is it? How many likes to views? Like if it takes 50 views to get one like out of 1,000, um, for these high ones, do they get every 10 views they get one like? I think that can make a difference. Do hashtags help with your I think they can. I think the problem with hashtags is how often do you search in YouTube for a hashtag to find a video? That's so I think some hashtags work. I don't think all hashtags works because I mean if you just put hashtag Christian, I mean how many times do you go into YouTube and go hashtag Christian and try and find um that tag? So I think there are um highly, and I guess you got to find out which tags are working the most and getting the most views and use them. But you've got to do a lot of research to find them. I do have some hashtags in mind, but I don't know if they're working really. But I really think they can work, but you have to select the right ones. And again, how many times do you search under hashtags for anything really? So yeah, does that answer everybody's questions? So, and the other question is, can you now get into your data and go, oh, I know why it didn't work. The swipe is is your thumbnail, your first 4 seconds, and then you've got to try and keep people watching, but you've also got to activate their engagement with likes, subscribes, with shares, with all this other stuff makes so much more difference. And I've had some go to 2,000 views with a very like the swipe ratio was only 10% or something. And then I've had other ones like I showed you before with the Superman one. I got nearly 50 or 40 to 50%. I think there was one there I got 52% swipe ratio, but I only got 170 views or something because because it just went on talking and talking and you think, yeah, okay, I get this. And it just wasn't inspiring anybody. If I do it again and I inspire people, it will work. And also you can, after a while, you can see the gray area of, now I don't know if I've got it here. Oh no, I can't see it now. But you can see the gray area of where your last previous ones have worked. And you can kind of see, oh, okay, it's tracking along the same sort of lines. Then you've got something. But just have a look at your likes. And if you're not getting enough likes per, I don't know, 10 or per 50 or, it's taking, if you're getting like one like every 100, it's probably not going to go so well. It kind of needs to be 50 or less, I think. But I've still got more to do with that. And maybe I'll do another live with that. Okay. I am going to finish up here. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on. And I no doubt will talk to more people. Go do something awesome for God, and I'll catch you in the next one.